Hello, everyone. We are live with the very last 19th hole of the regular season. But do stand by and continue to follow us on Twitter because Bo and Connor are sure to be sharing some tidbits from the wraparound season. So stay tuned while we get into it. Maybe. Probably. Hello.
Why, hello.
I'm trying to. Hello. I'm adjusting my camera. Hi.
Camera.
You know, some things never change. I'm just going to be flighty and whatever always. It's just how it is.
That seems fair.
Tonight, we are beersing to the last part of the regular season. Bo's got a stein over there. You have a can.
Oh, silver bullets.
I have a bottle, Estrella Jalisco.
I poured my cans into the stein.
You're so classy.
Well, I like to get the aeration of the hops and the
Hops.
Yeah, I like the flavors to develop.
Drinking? Because Keith is saying hello, 19ers. Keith, are you cheersing tonight?
Who's Keith?
Keith Craig. I'm mixing his last name with his first name.
She started the beers early today.
last week she screwed up my name. One of these weeks we'll get everything.
Yeah, but we don't care about you. Craig is a friend of the show.
Craig is a friend of the show, and
the best
you get
friend of the show, possibly.
When you say
Keith
Craig.
is the slow bartender in Canton.
This is so true. The intro still says the show's with Nate and doesn't mention Kelly. Why is that? It's a good question. But you know what? There's always next season. And today we are here to discuss the last round of golf of the official PGA season. You shouldn't be crying because I'm actually excited for the wraparound season, which starts in 2 weeks. Some of us actually love golf.
I don't like the golf wraparound season because it's not going to exist after this year.
I'm kind of curious to see like some new faces out there, though. I mean, they're going to have to fill it with some people you've never even heard of, so that's always kind of fun.
Right.
But I'm
some of them we've discussed on the show though, like Cole Hammer and all those guys. They're going to be out there. The Hammer.
I'm here for it.
But I was going to say it's kind of cool. Speaking of things that are changing, like that new news that came out with Rory and Tiger putting on some cool. Like kind of limited tour events indoors, doing like more of a skill-based team thing. Yep. I don't know. I think it sounds kind of cool. It sounds more hype, you know?
Yeah, you got the right people to do it.
I'm really sorry. You know I love you.
Craig, I wouldn't take it personally. Like I said, she can't even get my name right, so.
I can't spell it right, but today I did. I am excited to see some changes too. I think it's needed in the PGA in order to compete with what's happening in golf.
Yep. Completely agree.
I mean, you can totally get wrapped up in the, golf is proper. Golf is this, golf is that. This is not what golf is supposed to be. But we're past that.
Sedgefield.
Yeah. I mean, just come visit the Phoenix Open the last 20 years. And we were just ahead of the curve.
For sure. Scottsdale is electric.
I don't even know if I'd want to go in. I think I just want to tailgate the Waste Management.
Oh my gosh. It is so much fun.
Pound beers and brats and yell at people walking into the tournament.
Yeah, something about crazy people wearing diapers on that stadium hole and like not leaving their seats all day. I don't know if I'm signing up for that.
Although the two aces that they had this year were awesome.
The stadium hole
showered the whole.
It does get boring. The best way to do it is they have this greenskeeper pass, and you can go to like 3 or 4 different holes, and you get to go in the tent and drink and eat as part of your ticket, and you can get them scalped for like $75, and it's way worth it because your drinks alone. So yeah, that's the way to do it. And now everybody's going to go buy passes, and I'm not going to be able to get one.
I'll go with you next year because that sounds like a blast.
It's so fun.
I'll tell you what, like I said, I'll tailgate it with you guys, and then you can meet me at the nearest bar when you get done trolling around the course.
There's no real tailgating because the parking's like a zillion miles away.
Yeah.
You can drink.
It's not a football stadium.
Okay. This has been fun, but we should acknowledge that I won. Both.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Last place. I got last place in both. Last place.
Sorry, Bo.
My lineups all sucked.
I had good lineups. I thought I was going to catch Kelly for a minute. It got close, and then I took the lead for a little bit on Sunday.
I was dusting both of you until Zalatoris got 2 herniated discs in his back. So you can thank your lucky stars that Zalatoris threw his back out in the middle of a golf round, and now he's out for the rest of the season. I'm just ticked off because I was smashing both of you with Zalatoris in my lineup, and I still only lost by like 25. So there is a caveat there.
Okay, I will give you that. Had there not been a withdrawal, you probably would have won.
But there was, and I didn't.
That's true. And I did.
It happens.
The famous menage and also the foursome, which still also ended up being a threesome again.
Yeah. Seth wasn't even around to hold the camera.
Seth, if you're listening, this is the last tournament of the regular season, so you better get in
Seth,
on it.
Get your shit together.
Does anybody have any favorite plays from this last week? I don't. It was kind of a blur.
I took a pretty big L on Finau. I don't play Finau very often, and 100% it's because of what happened to me. I mean, everything said that he should have crushed and just didn't do much. I think Rahm was an actual great play
except for the first round. Yeah,
2, 3, 4. If he had a good first round, we would be making some serious cash.
Same with Finau though. Finau had a +4 the first round. He wasn't as bad as Finau as. Ooh, yeah, but he came back and had 2 rounds in the 60s himself, so he was salvageable. I had a lineup with both Rahm and Finau at the top, and then I cheaped out. My value picks last week were money actually, so I'm really happy with the value picks that I had. That's going to be the key this week, I think, is the Tour Championship with only 29 active players. Is you're gonna just have to nail your value picks. Otherwise, you're just going to duplicate with everybody else.
Too bad Mr. Kind Eyes isn't playing this week because he was actually a very lovely value pick.
So is Kitayama.
That's true. Kitayama was great. So, all right.
I'm not gonna acknowledge Matt Kuchar. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not.
You should.
I had a lot of Theegala too, and he played great. That was another early call for me that I stuck with. And then Patrick Cantlay, I ended up with a good portion of Cantlay, and And the guy is Patty Icewater for a reason. The pressure hits everybody else, and the dude doesn't even waver it a bit. This guy's money.
I do have to throw a little bit of shade at you because, as per normal, you gave me holy hell about Corey Connors, who I believe was the 5th or 6th highest scoring DK play last week. So.
No, I acknowledge that he was a good play. He popped up as 4th in my model last week. I don't play him.
In his vast pool of players.
His Olympic-sized pool.
Yeah, he wasn't in my top. I think I had 22 last week, and most of them were good.
Pool.
Yeah,
Kitty almost
for me
call.
it is. And Wise was my other good call.
Yeah,
Oregon Duck, baby.
But despite all of the should-haves, would-haves, could-haves, you didn't, and I won both tourneys. Let's move on.
I was gonna say,
what else is new? What else is new? Kelly winning tournaments and wearing her winning tournament lineup shirt to celebrate. Victory lapping with a DFS shirt. That's an ultimate troll move, and I will give you a golf clap for that.
I even made a TikTok today, and it was like, "Don't you wish your girlfriend was hot like me?"
I don't know what a TikTok is, but I'm sure it was great.
It was wonderful.
It's what all the kiddos are doing.
It was good. Old man Rivers. Man. Okay, well, we have,
Aren't you older than both of us, by the way?
I am, but obviously I'm cooler.
She looks younger than us, though.
Other than my gray hair, but it can pass as blonde sometimes.
I have gray hair too, so it's not a thing.
We don't have that many players to discuss. I picked out 7 in my video, which made my video like 3 minutes longer than it usually is because I don't normally tackle that many, but I figured I might as well.
My pool's 12 this week, 12.
I feel like once we get into this, lineups, we may be discussing a few more. Like once we start Galaxy Brain in this.
Right.
Because this is weird. Like it's a weird tournament, especially for fantasy.
Don't dupe me, bro.
Well, let's get into it. Stop slamming trunks out there. Behave.
The club is well. This would be a wrestling plan.
Oh, we're back. I was going to tweet that we're live. I usually do that.
Oh, okay. I already retweeted a long time ago.
I retweeted, but I usually do it while we're on.
My dozens of followers have been notified.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all
the ones that don't have me muted were notified.
Well, that would explain why I didn't see it.
Right?
That's hilarious.
Deserved. Connor, that's deserved.
Do you want to tell us a bit about this week's course?
East Lake.
East Lake Country Club, Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Tour Championship. We got the finale to the FedEx Cup here, 7,346 yards, par 70. Significantly smaller greens than we were dealing with the last few weeks. As a matter of fact, about 2,500 square feet smaller. Most of the grass throughout's Bermuda. This is a course that if you're not familiar with it, you can go back and watch all kinds of highlights on it. But this is very much an accuracy style course. You need to be accurate. You need to be close on your approach. You can't be wayward off the tee. It really is going to favor an all around golfer. There's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to say outside of that about the course. It really is just set up to be a true test for every style of play. I will say that the vast majority of people that you're going to listen to are going to be talking about how important, building your model and weighing things like approach, accuracy, driving fairways and regulation, greens and regulation, that type of stuff. Something that I did a little bit differently, and we're going to get into how this scoring works here in just a sec, but a couple of things that I looked at because of the format that we're dealing with on DraftKings this week. I weighed overall tee to green just to get a feel. I did DK points, I did bogey avoidance, and then I went back and changed all of my settings to favor hard courses. I expanded my reach a little bit. I dialed it all the way down to Bermuda grass, small green complexes, did all of that, and then did the exact same metrics.
Hashtag science.
This is an event where, contrary, I think, in my opinion, which probably means I'm going to lose hundreds of dollars again this week, but my theory is that instead of focusing on stats, because all of these guys are excellent golfers, they wouldn't be here if they weren't. I'm going to look at actually playing the game that we came here to play, which is DraftKings or FanDuel, any style of DFS. And to do that, you need your players to score points and not lose you points. So that's what I really looked at and focused in on. So,
God, why do I have to agree with everything you just said? This is weird. I wanted to end the season on a high note by saying, God, Conor, that's just dog shit. That's terrible analysis. But I can't say that because you looked at the exact same things I did. I'll throw in 3-putt avoidance, which is along the lines of bogey avoidance. These greens are small, but they're also extremely tricky. This is the toughest course they've played in a month. It's gonna be a test. And like you said, accuracy both off the tee and on approach is paramount. I think that, yeah, it just comes down to the best golfer. This is why the PGA Tours ended at Eastlake for so many years, because this course brings out the best and the worst of everybody in the field. Even if it's only 29, 30 guys, it's going to be riveting golf, because these guys are crunch time, big, huge, $18 million on the line. And even if you get second place, it goes down to $6.5 million and then down to $4 million. So they're like, these top guys are all getting paid, but 18 million is a whole lot of coin more than 6.5. So these guys are going to be duking it out, playing aggressive shots from Thursday all the way through Sunday. I love it. It's one of my favorite tournaments to watch because the field is so limited and these guys are playing for so much. Like, just not just money, but legacy points. Because if you win the FedEx Cup, that's a forever thing.
Wow, that was poetic. If you win the FedEx Cup, that is a forever thing. What I want to point out here, friends, is
she's a little sarcastic there, but
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was very nice. I feel like you've been working on that for a while, and I appreciate it.
Not at all. Not at all.
What I would like
that was completely off the cuff. Yeah.
What is flowery language?
It's botanical. It's purely botanical.
What I would like to point out is hello, Cooking at the Lake House. I went ahead with my normal data consumption. I am super impressed how Conor went above and beyond, and I'm hoping that what he shares with us tonight will validate some of my picks, is what I'm hoping, because I did go through each golfer, all 29 of them, and I appreciate that these are the greatest 29 golfers of the season and that they've earned their spot throughout the season. However, some of their strokes gained and some of their approach stats and some of their off the tee stats are frightening. And I'm staying far away from at least 8 players, which is a huge chunk. And it's the bottom quarter, basically, of the list. And I'm not sad about it. So
one thing too, before we get into the players, if you're new to doing DFS for this tournament, there's a couple of things to know. The pricing is going to be increased substantially, and the reason for that is the way the FedEx Cup point standings work as well. So, for example, Scotty Scheffler is starting at 10 under par versus somebody at the bottom of the list starting at 1 under par. So essentially, he's got a 9-stroke lead. The way that DraftKings in particular, FanDuel, I think, does it very similarly. The way that they weight the pricing is assuming that Scotty Scheffler is not going to lose the lead. He starts with 30 points. If, say, Scotty Scheffler was to bogey, double bogey off the first hole and Cantlay would then take over, they would swap the points that they started with. So as their position changes, those points change. So I think it's important to look at who you think can actually make a run at getting into the top 10, who you think may fall out of that top 5, which is the bulk of the heavy pricing that we're looking at. So those are kind of the things just to keep in mind is, when you turn up or when you log into DraftKings Thursday morning, you're going to see Scotty Scheffler is 30 points already, and that's nothing to panic about. I think there's probably some people out there that haven't played this tournament before in years past, and it kind of screws with you because that point total is going to move all day.
Very true. Very true.
Completely agree.
Do we want to start at the top, which is normally our 10,000 range, and this week happens to go all the way up to 13,000?
And we actually have to give it some actual attention this week because likelihood is one of these top 6 guys is going to win this tournament.
Probably.
Yep. So we have to ask ourselves.
My favorites.
Yeah, we have to ask ourselves if you believe Scheffler is going to hold on to this 2-shot lead he's been built with, or whether somebody below him is going to pass him up over 4 days. I'm all in on fading Scheffler because his recent form has not been on par with the rest of these guys that are right next to him. And it only takes one hole. As soon as Scotty Scheffler slips up in the first round on Thursday, all these next 5-6 guys are right back in play. And it's like he never had the lead to begin with, because the whole pressure, the whole strategy changes as soon as he coughs it up. If Scheffler gets off to a hot start, he could put it away quickly too. But I don't think that his recent form indicates that that's going to happen, especially on a course like this where it doesn't necessarily fit his game. I'm really heavy on Cantlay because he's only starting 2 shots back and he's red hot. I mean, we just saw him dominate last week at the BMW. But I'm all in on Xander Schauffele. Xander Schauffele fits this course like a glove. He can make birdies in bunches, and we finally saw the guy win something. He won a couple of weeks in a row last month. And when it comes down to it, this course suits Xander Schauffele's game so well that I think he could get off to a good start on Thursday and then just put it away over the weekend. That's how good he's playing right now.
I'm with you on the Scheffler take. I do think that Scheffler probably ultimately ends up finishing probably somewhere between 5th and 10th. I don't see him hanging on to this lead. I'd love to see an amazing season for him culminate with him winning this, but there's just nothing going on lately that really leads me to believe that that's going to be the case. I do like Schauffele. I got to be honest, though, if we're going to say that, in my opinion, if we're saying that Schauffele has the ability to win this at 6 under, I think that I go down to Finau and McIlroy, who both are only 2 strokes behind Schauffele at that point. And metrics-wise, Finau is still rating out as the hottest golfer on the planet right now. And most importantly for our purposes this week, and this is, I'll say it a dozen times tonight, the biggest thing is Tony Finau scores DraftKings points. He's
points. Extremely accurate off the tee and extremely good on approach.
And he's also extremely volatile.
Yeah, as a putter. He makes tons of birdies, though. Tons of birdies.
But if you got to gamble on one of these guys in the top 6, I'm going to take the guy that has arguably the best form coming in, which is still Tony Finau, metrics-wise. If you look at the last 24, last 36, Tony Finau is playing out of his head right now. And I do like a lot of the metrics that are important this week. Typically, I would kind of stray away from Finau with driving accuracy in particular. He does get a little wayward. That hasn't seemed to be an issue lately. His putting can be a problem. It hasn't been the issue lately. But, and this is not because he's obviously my favorite player, but Rory McIlroy, I think, is the only one that actually has the firepower to gain the amount of strokes it's going to take to actually win this and come from 4th back. He is by far and away the best ball striker in this field. If you look at the metrics over the last 24 and 36, what's really killed him lately has been his putter. He lost, I believe it was 6 strokes in last tournament, almost a stroke and a half the tournament before. He did have a couple of hiccups with the driver, but ultimately he's still the best driver of the golf ball on tour, in my opinion. He still has an excellent approach game from 150 to 175, which is the key approach distance. His wedges, not great, but his proximity, his bogey avoidance, his birdies are better gained. Like all those things point towards Rory being able to come back and pick up 7-8 strokes and catch Scheffler, in my opinion. And that's a good price.
Didn't you just talk about bogey avoidance though? Because Rory, yes, can score with the best of them, but he struggled so much last week with his putter that he couldn't even convert birdies for, I think it was like 16 straight holes. He went birdieless, and he was missing short par putts as well. That's not going to fly at East Lake. The form he's coming into East Lake with, the form he's coming into East Lake with right now is terrible for Rory.
I'm going to push back against this, because if your picks, Bo, and your picks, Connor, had a baby, they would be my picks, which are Rory and Xander Schauffele. And Rory has held even. He's not lost. He's not gained. He's staying just fine in 3-putt avoidance. I'm not worried about it at all. So,
and most importantly, doing that added weighting that I did for hard courses and spreading it out and looking at traditionally people that play good on hard courses. Rory is number 4 in this field for bogey avoidance on difficult to highly difficult courses. And he's actually, believe it or not, over the last 24 rounds, the number 1 in the field for average bogey avoidance. So I'm not saying that he's going to win. It's a lot of strokes to make up, but I am saying at 10-8, it allows you to stack up a little bit better and avoid that $13,000 area.
Right. I agree. And then Xander Schauffele is coming in at 12.3, which is so pricey. It's the priciest of all of my picks. And if we're still talking, you brought up Finau, who is coming in at 9.6. I'm going to throw in a little JT, Justin Thomas, at 9.4. I think his event history proves that he enjoys at least trying to win this event, coming in 2nd, 3rd, 7th, 2nd. He definitely enjoys this event. Strokes gained across the board are looking good. Off the tee is a little wayward. Approach stats looking good. And scoring all under 70. So that's my 9. My 9 pick there would be Justin Thomas.
What do you think about? Are you going to play any Jon Rahm?
No, I am not.
No. He just like Rory has the firepower, but I'm really standoffish about his form. Has been really wayward. Like he's scrambling more than he ever had to in years past, and I don't like Jon Rahm that's forced to scramble, because the strength of his game is he just gets so red hot that he can't be stopped, and he hasn't been that hot in months. He's still talented enough to do it, but as far as this field is concerned, I really do think that he's down the list quite a ways compared to his salary. So unless he's showing up as an extreme leverage value, which I don't expect, I'm going to be off of him.
I don't
he's
think
also to your point, Bo, his approach is a hot mess right now. And we can't win this by scrambling, especially because his scrambling's actually not that great anyway compared to the rest of the field. So I love Jon Rahm. I definitely was high on him last week. This week I'm out. I'm also out on Cantlay. I'm out on Scheffler. I'm out on Rahm.
Yeah, I'm out on Rahm as well. And it's exactly kind of what Kelly just hit on. His approach game has just not been good. And his accuracy has not been good either. Just overall. And he's in the lower 10. He's 21st in this field for bogey avoidance, especially when you overweigh it like I did with the hard course metric. So I don't like Rahm, but I do think that there's some chalkier pieces around Rahm. So I think that he may pick up some ownership. But I think Cam Smith is an interesting one, because I don't think many people are going to want to play him at 10-4. And narratives and all those things, which I know you guys love a good story time, but I think that the impending departure to Live is not going to help the casual player want to play Cam. And on top of that, he is kind of trending down from where he was. So I'm not playing Cam, but he's probably
driving accuracy. Driving accuracy kills Cam in this field, because if we're talking about guys who are wayward off the tee, Cam is not an accurate driver of the golf ball. Of course, he's world-class short game from inside of 100 yards. I wouldn't rather have any other player than Cam Smith. But this course is so much more than short approach and short game, because that's Cam Smith's game. He wins on these tougher courses like Sawgrass because he just happened to pick the right clubs off the tee to get himself into play and to score. But at East Lake, it's almost like they force you to hit driver on holes that are narrower just so you can get in the right position. And Sawgrass is different than that. You can hit long irons all the way around Sawgrass, like Tiger has done for years, where he just takes a 2-iron off every tee and he scores just fine. It comes down to at East Lake, they're going to force drivers off the tee, and then you have to be good with it. Cam Smith off the tee with a driver is not that good. So he's going to have to scramble, just like with Rahm. Going down the list a little bit, I'm shocked to see Colin Morikawa at 7,900. That's an extremely valuable pick for a guy that can get red hot as one of the best ball strikers in the world. And for me, that's an easy lineup filler for somebody at a really decent salary that probably isn't going to have enough juice to win the whole thing, but scoring DraftKings points, I'm all over Morikawa there.
Let me chime in. You're chewing your nails. What I see is also I have Morikawa listed in the people that I've highlighted today in my video. Morikawa is one of them. As both said, at 7.9, that's like, whoa. But I have two just above that I felt are worth talking about. Corey Connors again this week, and Joaquin Niemann, I think, is worth talking about this week as well. Corey Connors coming in at 8K, Joaquin Niemann at 8.3, and then you have Morikawa, as you said, at 7.9. So what I like about all three of these guys is they've played in this tournament. They've done okay in this tournament. Not great by any means. In fact, last year, Joaquin Niemann came in second to last. But having played in this tournament and knowing what it means is important. Recent form out of all of them, Morikawa is the most spotty player out of all of these three. Corey Connors looking great for the last 4 weeks. Joaquin Niemann looking great for the last 2 weeks. Had a little hiccup. Looking great the previous week. Had a little hiccup. But what I like is the strokes gained. What it shows to me, here comes the emotional portion of the show, where I like to talk about the person. When you see someone who's excelling and creating additional strokes gained in their game, they are playing the game. They're playing the game to win. And they may not win, but they've been playing to win. And that's what I like about Corey Connors, what I like about Joaquin Phoenix. And we could say the same about Colin Morikawa, except Morikawa's been fairly stagnant. He hasn't gained as many strokes as the others, but he's one.
I like Joaquin Phoenix as Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash. Joaquin
As we
Phoenix.
discussed, she's not good with names.
Joaquin Niemann.
There it is.
I didn't know Joaquin Phoenix was from Chile.
Joaquin Phoenix enjoys some Estrella Jalisco, I'm sure.
Vámonos. Hey, and for
beach.
Craig, I know Craig/Keith is watching. I'm drinking the Hazy Little Thing IPA from Chico, California. That's a shout out, NorCal, in my big beer stein.
Got our good friend Detroit, BC in the house.
What's up?
Hazy Little Thing ain't bad. What do I have to say about everything you guys just said?
Joaquin Phoenix, great actor. Great actor.
Yeah. Enjoy it. I celebrate his whole portfolio.
I miss his brother River too, because that was a sad ending too.
There's also a pop punk band that I think is from California that was River Phoenix that then had to change their name to Phoenix TX because I believe they got sued over it. But anyways,
yeah, copyright infringement.
So Neiman, yeah, do you like Neiman? I like Neiman again for all the reasons I say every single week. I like a guy that can shot shape with the best of them. He's pretty damn accurate. Neiman scares me a little bit because his DK point output is never great. So he's priced at a point where I'm kind of tipping back and forth, trying to decide if I'm going to pay $8,300 for someone who, one, I don't think is going to win, and two, is not going to generate the amount of points that I need in a lineup. So that's where I'm at. I love Neiman. My play in the eights is Hideki Matsuyama.
Ooh.
So Hideki, providing he completes the tournament.
That's what I was just going to say.
From off the radar, Hideki Matsuyama hits the show.
Hear me out. So Hideki is the things that I weighed heavily. On hard courses, he is number one in this field for DK points. He is number one in this field for bogey avoidance, and that is over the last 36 measurable rounds when you weigh it against hard courses. So I like that. The last 24 rounds, he's actually 15th for approach, so he's right in the middle. But he is actually number two in this field for opportunities gained, which we've discussed is being close enough to give yourself a chance to make a birdie. So $8,100. He's number 6 overall in my modeling. And those two metrics that I pointed out about scoring points and avoiding bogeys, I think $8,100 is a really good value for Hideki because he will score more points than the guys we just talked about.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of in the same idea. Like I like the idea of Hideki. Like he's kind of
the idea of Hideki more than I actually like Hideki.
Right. Like I'm looking at the guys in the same range. Like Morikawa's a little bit less. Jordan Spieth is a little bit less. And Jordan Spieth from tee to green this year has been spectacular. And so I'm really high on Jordan Spieth at 7,800. So I'm gonna be double tapping that high sevens mark with Morikawa and Spieth this week because I think Spieth is another guy that all he needs is a hot putter, and this guy can go on a rampage at a place like Eastlake. It's, for me, I love Hideki. I love watching Hideki play golf. But if I'm going to be getting similar to greater output from guys that are a little bit less, a little bit more flexibility with the salary cap, I'm going to take that chance on those other two guys.
I'm not being argumentative with you because I've been on the same page with you about Spieth for months. But we keep saying the same thing about Spieth every week, and to be honest, it just hasn't happened. Like if his putter shows up, he's gonna win. Well, his putter hasn't shown up, his short game hasn't shown up, and in the last 24 rounds, because I'm looking at it right now, he's actually pretty abysmal tee to green. He's 24th out of 29, so. I don't think the point output is going to be the same. Morikawa is probably the closest that I think to Matsuyama in terms of potential output, depending on how this course plays.
Interesting.
But I hope to God Spieth shows up and just pops up like T5 or something like that'd be great because I think the story with Spieth this year, and I think people probably don't remember how he started this season, how he ended last season, and where he's at now. Like it is really great to see Jordan back doing well, but I'm here to win money. It's a fun story. I wish Jordan the best, but I don't think that he makes my lineup this week.
It's a fun story. I would like Craig to know that I did not pick Scheffler. I did not pick Fitzpatrick, and I did not pick Homa this week. Gold star, gold star, gold star. Craig said last week that I seem to have the same favorites, which is true because they are up there in the top 20s.
When you win as often as you do, can you really fault you sticking to the same people?
Nope. That's the
true.
one. That's the thing about Kelly is she has strong opinions, but they're usually right. So
I need a shirt that says that I have strong opinions, but I'm usually right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you shouldn't need to advertise it. We all know by now a whole season of you beating our ass.
Oh my God. You're so silly. I do
I'm telling you, next
share.
season, I'm just going to stop trying to get cute with it every week. I'm just going to play like
That's
that.
key.
Cute,
that is key.
Cute is not your bag, Connor. We've been over this.
I try
I
and give the
actually
deep cuts,
think
the deep plays.
that might have been one of my talking points. It wasn't "don't get cute" in the DFS panel, but it was something like just just play. I was almost like Bo, just play good players, but I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, play the good golfers on this course. That's pretty balanced for scoring. Like last week was, I mean, you were joking about it in the chat, but my player pool had all the right guys, but for some reason over 20 lineups, it didn't materialize into a great lineup. And so it's what happens. It's the breaks. That's DFS for you. Is I had everybody in the top 10 of last week's tournament was in my pool. Were they all in the same lineup together? Nope.
And you know that in the higher dollar GPPs, I actually hand build all my lineups.
Me too.
This week, I lineup generated literally all 100 lineups that I played across multiple contests, and it didn't pan out as well. So
No.
I have the right players, but
I hand build mine as well. Although I was about to hit Bo up to walk me through Fantasy Cruncher because I still haven't quite figured that out yet, but I do enjoy it.
It's nice to take some bias out.
It's a great tool, but you still have to weight your exposure correctly, and that's where I went wrong. Is my pool was good, but I had too much exposure to the wrong guys and not enough to the right guys, and that was why it didn't generate 20 amazing lineups with the amazing players in my pool.
Well,
so it's still on you whether you hand build or whether you optimize with an automatic cruncher. It's still on you. You can't blame anybody but yourself if you lose.
At the end of the day, you got to star the 20 people you want in the auto.
And you cannot pass credit off either if you win. You're like, that was all me. It works both ways.
I was about to share the really big secret, and it's not a secret at all, but when I pick my lineups, if they're different, I still have at least 3 of the same core players in all of those lineups that I am confident in. And then the other ones, the other 2-3 players are ones that I feel good about, but I'm not as confident in, so I mix them in. And I know that sounds elementary, and a lot of DFS players like, well, that's what I do too. But if you were to look at your lineups, it probably isn't. You might think that's what you're doing, but if you're playing a lot of lineups, you're probably not. So maybe take a step back and take a look at what it is that you've been doing and see if it doesn't make a difference to only swap out at the max 3 players. But
well, and we all started doing this at some point too, like where there are people that haven't been doing this for years and years and years. So it's always good to throw out good advice. And honestly, I mean, I'm always very transparent with people that watch our show, but like I've been trying to work on my process for the last 6-8 weeks because I was doing really well towards mid-season and then things kind of fell off. So, if it ain't broke, try and fix it, because you're gonna get stale and things will fall off.
For sure. I've only been playing DFS for 1 year.
And she's already kicking her ass.
But like I said, I do hand build. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. But for me, it pays off. So if you have that time to hand build, then give it a go.
What's funny is I started optimizing for golf. I've always been a hand builder for football. And I have never, ever used an optimizer for football. And I've been playing DFS football since, 2016, 2017. And I've never used an optimizer. And here I am using an optimizer for golf because it's just quicker. And it flies in the face of everything I've ever believed in for DFS because I'm a hand build kind of guy. I'm an old fashioned kind of guy. And then of course I'm gonna go back to hand building my football lineups this season too.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just a weird paradox though.
I love building them, man.
for
It's
sure.
fun.
It is fun. And that's it. Also, if you play DFS and you haven't done player props, there's people that are like that too. I started in player props, and that's how I learned how to research players essentially. So it's really important whether you're playing DFS or if you're playing props, player props in particular, that player becomes an individual player versus a team sport. So it's important to know your players.
We have probably a lot to talk about here, sub 8,000, because this is where your lineups are going to be made or broken.
Right. And I only have 2 players. One I didn't even highlight, but I am going to throw it out there because of the value. But the one I really feel great about is Adam Scott, which I played last week and did well. Adam Scott came in 5th last week. He came in 5th the week before that. And he has some course history. However, it hasn't been since 2019 when he came in 6th. So I'm still an Adam Scott fan. However, I am breaking all my rules. Adam Scott is one of those players who has not gained strokes recently. He's losing strokes, in fact. So do with that what you will, but his approach is decent.
So what's the advice, Kelly? What's the advice? I'm so confused.
The advice
right
is
are you playing him or is he losing
I am
strokes?
playing him. I am playing him because
he's Australian, so you know he's good.
He's got a cool
playing
accent.
Adam Scott because I think he's like, shit, it's the end of the season. I'm going to start
good,
playing
mate.
well.
We got to play golf out here.
He
Got to
has
play
been playing well.
play across the crocodiles and blimey if it ain't one of the beautiful day up here in Georgia. And
yes, exactly. But along those same lines, so Adam Scott is at 6,000, even less. I've never even seen one this low. Aaron Wise at 5.4 is an extreme value. And
thank you.
Aaron Wise is along the same lines as Adam Scott. He's played slightly better over the last 4 weeks, and his strokes gained have remained relatively even, not losing nor gaining. So, I mean, mediocrity, sure. What I'm not impressed with either of these guys is, well, their finishing scores. They both have Aaron Wise finishes average 68 in the second round, which is great. Then he falls apart. Then he comes back with 69, almost averaging 70. Adam Scott, just about the same. He falls apart in the 3rd round and comes back averaging 69, almost 70. So they are very, very close in their data, in their play, and they are both value, but Aaron Wise extreme value if you find that you've run out of salary.
So, not trying to be argumentative with you, Kelly, because I love Aaron Wise and everything you just said about Aaron Wise as a player, true. Problem with Aaron Wise is he's starting at one under.
Right.
And he is a notoriously low DraftKings scorer on top of that. So,
okay.
So I would play Aaron Wise and have been playing Aaron Wise for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. So my argument is not against Aaron Wise, the player. My argument is against Aaron Wise,
the scorer,
being able to score.
That makes sense to me. I just feel like if you've used up your salary cap and you need a player that is going to at least make a comeback between rounds 3 and 4.
Yes.
Then you're going to end up making up some of that between round 3 and 4, and you have that going for you. And because he's so cheap.
I would do to
cheap,
argue your point,
hot leverage. Aaron Wise, all my lineups, every single one.
To argue your point, if we're gonna go that route, like we've used up all our salary, we're in a no-win situation down here. I'm playing Tom Hoagie because Tom Hoagie can get freaking nuclear.
When's the last time Tom Hoagie played well? What's 3 months ago?
Let's see. He's number 9 in the field over the
3
last 36 for bogey avoidance. He's number 12 in shots.
How has he
gained approach,
finished?
and he's number
How much has he
5 in
finished? Where's he
opportunities gained.
finishing though?
That's not what I'm saying. He gets 4 rounds at 5,000, and he's leading the metrics in approach and opportunities gained, and he's in the top 10 for bogey avoidance. I'll take that on 4 rounds at 5K.
His event history is
Terrible.
abysmal, but I will say 3 weeks ago he came in 4th. And
I'll take Hoagie over Wise. I'll take a head-to-head bet with
Okay.
either or
Okay.
both.
Let's go.
let's do it. I will take
I'm in
that
on that
bet.
one. Me too.
I want
Lost
guys
your
that
damn
have
mind.
the
Tom
potential
Hoagie was good
for
for like
points.
Tom Hoagie's been good. What 5 weeks out of 36 this year? Not
I-
gonna do it.
And Aaron Wise, the first 5-6 tournaments of the year was abysmal too. Like he's had a couple of good runs here
Yeah.
and there. It's not like
It's
Aaron
his
Wise
rookie
is
year. He's
nails,
gonna be
dude.
fine. The
But
dude's
I will
red
give
hot.
you-
Aaron Wise is red hot right now.
Connor, I will give you the same argument that I gave to Aaron Wise between round 3 and round 4. Hoagie, he brings it home, and he actually averages 68 versus a 69 with Aaron Wise. So there's that. However, it's such a horrible thing to look at when you're looking at the data because it's like bleeding everywhere.
Nobody down here is
Blood everywhere.
There are 2 guys that hopefully you guys don't are like. First off, I do want to say Adam Scott is in my player pool. I
Good.
really like what he's doing. He's scoring DK points.
Yep.
He gets 4 guaranteed rounds. My biggest complaint with Adam Scott during a normal tournament is I can't count on Adam Scott to make the cut always, and he's usually fairly pricey.
But
this
with
is
no
not that
cut,
case.
right?
No cut. He's low price. He scores DK points. He's not gonna win this tournament. He doesn't. There's no way he's making up those kind of strokes, but he can score you some points. The what's rating out its extreme values in my modeling are Billy Horschel at $6,900. Great in DK scoring, great in bogey avoidance.
Bermuda grass.
And Billy is better on Bermuda grass.
Billy is exemplary on Bermuda.
So Billy Horschel is my sub $7,000 play, and then I'm
6,900. Nice.
I am not afraid to play Scott Stallings again this week. 4 guaranteed.
Thank you.
And doing
Thank
a ton
you.
of work. $7,400.
He's on fire. Scott Stallings is on fire. Everyone. Scott Stallings.
It's just like a light flipped on for Stallings, where he figured out that if he just goes out and does the same thing every week, sooner or later you win tournaments. So those are my two lower end guys. And then, like I said, you've got to get unique down here at the bottom. Hoagie is not a sexy play. He screws us all the time, but a lot of people aren't going to click that at the bare bottom. And then the other guy that if you're looking for somebody who's not a sexy play, who potentially can score decent in a lower scoring tournament, Brian Harmon would be somebody that is not going to get clicked over Aaron Wise. He is an accurate player, solid approach game, low scoring event.
He makes birdies. He plays well on tough courses. I just hate him. God, he's a lefty like me, and I still hate him.
You know damn well, though, from playing DFS golf for several years now, Aaron Wise and Adam Scott and Thagala are going to get the clicks down here at the bottom because
Thagala is going to be super chalk after what he did last week.
That's the recency bias at DFS. So, game theory would tell you play somebody else.
Play the leverage. That's DFS 101.
Like I said, love all your plays. Like I love everybody we've talked about today, but this week in particular is not about just settling for status quo. Like you got to get weird, otherwise you're not taking down one of these GPPs. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. I agree, and getting weird could be a variety of things. For me, it's not playing the players I would typically play.
Well, Matt Kuchar isn't playing.
I'm not playing.
He didn't make
Matt
it.
Kuchar because
Kind Eyes did not make it.
No, he did not. But it is pretty pretty fair to say that we each have players that we covet, whether it's 1 for you guys or 3 for me. But you're right. You need to mix it up this week for sure.
So last tournament of the season, guys. Who wins the FedEx Cup?
Xander
Schauffele.
Whew. I'm gonna stick with what I said in the chat. It's either Cantlay or Rory makes one of the craziest drives.
I could buy into Rory. I don't think Cantlay will do it. I don't think 2 years in a row he would win the BMW and the FedEx Cup. I just don't think it will happen. But if he does, I said in my video, but if he does, kudos to him.
Yeah, I'm Cantlay McElroy all day.
I'll get on board with McElroy, but I definitely think it's Schauffele.
I'm with you on Cantlay. He's expensive. He costs so much money.
Don't like it. I didn't like Finau last week. I don't like Cantlay this week. Blech. But that's fine. That's the beauty of this show.
True.
You guys, I wanted to do a wraparound season, but that's fine. What I think we should do is tell people where they can find us and what we're going to be doing here in the off season. Bo, go ahead.
I am found on Twitter at Bo_McBigTime, where on my bio you can find my Linktree address, which is a link to everything I do, including Fantasy Pros, redraft, and dynasty work for football, PGA DFS for Team Rise or Fall, alongside the amazing Kelly Singh. Kelly in Phoenix is one of the best things that's happened to the betting and sports gambling and DFS world. So I'll give her mad props. It's been a great season to share with you on the same team on this show, as well as Team Rise or Fall. Go to bigtimeflavor.co. You can order my food products, the Hot Box Gourmet Hot Sauce, as well as 4 unique seasoning blends. They've been amping up your mother-in-law's cooking since 2020, making it tolerable. So check it out. Go to Bo_McBigTime on Twitter. Click on the link tree. Check out everything I am doing. Lots of different things. I'm the ultimate freelancer. I write for lots of different publications, and it's still a great honor to share this airspace with both of you this entire golf season every Tuesday night. It's been a ton of fun, and hopefully I can get one more win under my belt before we wrap around and come back in January for the West Coast swing.
Conor.
That was really nice.
It was really nice.
No, it's been a great season with both you guys. I feel like I've gotten a couple more friends out of life, and looking forward to anything that we can collaborate on in the future. You can find me Koff_DFS on Twitter. I do all of my stuff over at IBT. Should have some semblance of the DFS tailgate show that we had last year for football, 11 a.m. Sunday mornings. I don't know if these lovely people will be joining me from time to time, but let's hope. Outside of that, yeah, we'll be doing some swing season stuff with Kelly for sure. We won't be dead until January. There'll be some shows, and just watch our Twitter. We'll let you know what's up. And thank you both. It's been a fun year.
Yeah, super excited. Golf is my very favorite, followed by football. It's such a hard choice because they both make me loads of money. I actually make more money on football, so I'm super excited about that. I am planning to join Conor for the NFL DFS tailgate for IBT Media. I guess Bo would like to join as well. I volunteered to either make appearances every week in a segment or to be a regular host. I'm open to both opportunities, so stay tuned to IBT Media to see us do the football tailgate. I'm also going to be doing a small Twitter segment, and I say small because I'll be working with small people. I'm going to be working with the Sneaky Syndicate, Maisie and Rowan, who are the daughters of Dave Fancy on Twitter. I played with them last year. I'm playing with them again in a women's league, teaching them how to play classic fantasy football in a safe environment as they are small ones. We also have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old who are children of other analysts. And I know I've already got people requesting another team for next year. So it's going to be good. We're going to be giving you your flex spot starts and sits. It'll be short, like 5 minutes, but I feel like that's a topic that they can handle and get excited about. And not to keep talking, but we are in August, which is the big month for women of fantasy football, and our fundraising, which is providing scholarships to Galvanize. Galvanize is an organization that teaches women how to get behind the mic, get in front of the camera, and become part of sports media. So we are providing resources for women who may not otherwise have the resources to achieve their dreams. I'm really excited about it. We've had some amazing guests already. Kayla Burton from NFL Network has been a guest. Kendall Valenzuela from Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life has been a guest. And this coming week, I know we have Stefania Bell tomorrow, which is like making me super nervous and excited at the same time.
I just had Stefania on the show last night. Yeah. She's amazing.
She's pretty great. So tune in. We do a drawing. Follow Women of Fantasy or Club Fantasy, which is our male counterpart, and join for the raffle. We have signed paraphernalia. And just check out my bio. You'll find everything I'm working on there. But again, to echo what Bo said, being his colleague on Team Riser Fall has helped me actually become a better, I guess, analyst in my writing, in my broadcasting, and joining Conor on this broadcast has allowed me to become more confident in my DFS ability. I mean, I've only been doing this a year. Casually, maybe I could say 2 years, but it was really only tailing, like Chris at Detroit Beastie, for instance, or perhaps Bo, for instance. But this year, I've just been doing the thing and finding confidence, and I would owe that to Conor. So thank you. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you guys.
We did it.
We did it.
We made it.
This is really fun. So follow along. I usually post my lineups after I get them in. If you want to tail, feel free to play along. Send me yours. I get several via DM asking me what I think. So I know the other guys do too as well. We'll see you on the other side, everyone. Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.